At first I thought it's a nice way of putting together the idea that you love this vast force of nature, and at the same time you feel tied to it, you're almost addicted to it. So not being a native speaker, I thought it's a good way of putting two terms together. Being bound to the sea. And then I learned that it means that Seabound, a vessel, is leaving a harbor and is going on the sea. And I thought, well, that's even better because it's like being born. And there's no harbor to get back to. You don't crawl back into your mother. So the only thing you can try is avoid drowning or going under. Destination unknown, that's what I liked.
Pain unlike pleasure. Wears no mask.
When Seabound started, we considered ourselves to be a studio band. Actually, we wanted one CD and see it, touch it, and then, we would be in heaven. But things progressed and we started doing live shows. And it took a while until we felt comfortable doing them because an electronic act can only do so much. And we were not into makeup, we were not into big theater. So I think it took 2 years until we really felt comfortable doing live shows. But then something changed. And I really thought the live shows is the only real possibility to get into contact with my fans and my friends. And I started enjoying it. And that changed everything. So we were keen on getting back on tour. And we did a tour with Covenant in 2002. We did a small US tour with Stormkern in 2002. But we were desperate to be back.
Feel the seasons change, unwavering like waves.
I was so conscious and aware of myself. I was watching every step that I was taking. I guess that's part of being a psychologist. You always try to watch people behave, and I watched myself. And you cannot enjoy being on stage if you are so self-aware. And I wanted to see the people, I wanted to see the reactions, I wanted to read their faces, see their emotions, right? And I gave myself, that was in 2004, I said, well, 5 more shows. If I don't enjoy it by the end of these 5 shows, I will quit doing live shows. And that kind of did it for me. It was like a switch. And ever since, I'm so looking forward to see people come forward. The vocals on the first album and on the second, so No Sleep Demon and Beyond Flatline, was rather restricted. I tried to, hold back. It feeds the kind of icy, distanced notion in Seabound. But then I started this other project with Mario, Edge of Dawn, and he kind of pushed me to trying new things, shouting, for example, or letting my emotions out more than I've ever done in Seabound, and that was quite an experience. Double Crosser and Enjoy the Fall, the Edge of Dawn album, they kind of went parallel. And after I had done some recordings for Enjoy the Fall, I felt very comfortable to do, for example, Breathe, a Seabound song that has all the notions of layers and distance, and it starts mellow and then it turns into the riot, and then it dies down again. And the shouting in Breathe is still something I don't understand. How did I do it? But it wouldn't have been possible like 2 years ago. I really wanted to express what I felt, and I think Seabound benefits from doing, on the one hand, the distance bit. And it will always be there because it's about layers and about hiding things. Make people discover, and unless you hide something, there is no need to discover. But also be frank and put things in the open, like for a change. I discovered Front 242 in the 80s, and they came from Belgium. And Belgium is a good example for me. It's a European country, like distances are small. There is dirty industry. I mean, industrial really means industry in a way. So people had shitty jobs and they complained about it in a certain way. So they tried, instead of acting it out in an aggressive kind of fashion, they found catharsis in music. That's how I saw Front 242 in a way. I think Germany and also Sweden and the northern countries, I think they benefit from being a bit restrained and structured and a bit lacking fun. So I think electronic music really suits us. It's at first sight it's emotionless and it's kind of colder, very cognitive in a way. So bringing these two together, a bit of a tension really, that is in Europe, and that's been there I think throughout history. It feeds and nourishes this scene. In Europe, there are 3 magazines basically that inform the scene, and you have the internet, of course, so everybody knows when things are coming out. There's dozens of mail orders and everybody's like on top of things. There's not so much area to cover too, so it seems that people realize there's a new album, then there is a peak of interest, magazines, interviews, everything, and then it kind of drops like steeply. In the US it's so different. It's like a steady interest, and every week we get emails from people saying, well, I just discovered you guys. It's amazing stuff. So there's a lot of territory, obviously, that is still uncovered and on this kind of being out there and not knowing about things. And I like that. So it's word of mouth, it's club play, it's radio stations, and it's people like you who kind of inform people. So people will come across a certain new band and think, well, it sounds interesting, and we'll try and find out. In Germany, everybody knows. I do think that downloading is a way of getting known. That means being downloaded, but I think it hurts much more than it helps. Because every once in a while, and I do it myself, I would download, and if I like it, I'd buy it. I have a collection of more than 10,000 CDs. But 10 out of 100 will do that. And 90 will just keep the free MP3. And the whole, I mean, I was brought up in a time when CDs were invented. I just loved the idea of having a product that would stay the same quality and have a decent packaging. And I just love the product. And I think the next generations, they just consider it so differently. And it's music, and it can be downloaded, and it's like hot air. It's gone. When we were signed to Dependent, that was after we showed them 2 demos of ours. The first in 1996, the second in 1999, and every time Stefan Herwig, who would run Dependent, goes, "Oh guys, it's not bad, but it's, you know, not quite there. You go on and you send me the next one." It's kind of frustrating. In retrospect, I kind of liked his approach because he's very critical. At the same time, his heart is in it. So he would offer the first album to Metropolis, and Metropolis wouldn't want it. So we kind of sent them 100 copies for mail order, and they sold them. So they ordered another 100, and they sold them. That's when they said, well, we are going to license Flatline, the second album. And ever since then, we've been with Metropolis, and they've been very, very supportive. I think this tour, for example, would not have been possible at all without the Metropolis.